Howdy, fellas. How's everybody doing? I'm doing something dumb. I'm wearing a watch on the wrong damn hand. Howdy, howdy. Williams watches. How you doing? Geezer. How are you, man? Chip Gauge. Hope everybody's doing good. It's beauty of a Sunday. Cheers, Geezer. Junior Johnson, how are you, man? That's what I'm hoping. I didn't catch any, I don't know if they did anything live or not. And then got kind of busy throughout the day, so I didn't catch. I was kind of hoping to recap on it today, see what everybody has to say about it. I've heard a few things here and there, but kind of wanted to hold off on it till today. So I just got to muck around here a bit and hello, Thomas.
Hi, there, Zippo. You well?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thanks.
Hope you're on.
Just
yeah, right on.
Wait for a few of the others to join up. How have you been doing this weekend? You been busy?
Yeah. Try a little bit of downtime today already. Got up way too early, did what I had to do, and all good now.
Oh, that's not good, getting up too early.
Yeah, it's a habit of mine.
Oh, I've been getting into a really bad habit, sleeping into way too late, going to bed way too late as well. Yeah, this COVID-19 has been getting me into a really bad habit of sleeping.
Yeah. I've been fighting it, trying to do what I can, setting my alarm and everything. And yeah, 4 o'clock this morning, I woke up for no reason. And then I just immediately think, oh, it's time for coffee. Get up, get at it.
Yeah, I suppose we might as well. Early start's better than a late start anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Blue Shirt. Hi, MS. You well?
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah,
how are you doing?
Good.
Right
Good.
on.
Just going through the same bad habits you guys are. Staying up late, getting up late. Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard Thomas say how he's going to bed too late, but long before the coronavirus, you were on YouTube 24 hours a day. So
yeah.
I'm not sure what that means.
Bad habits.
Yeah.
I thought I might get into a good routine, but yeah, it's getting worse and worse.
Thomas is the Iron Man of YouTube.
Yeah.
I try not to be though, Blue Shirt. I need to get out of it. I need to get a new routine going, but it's not good.
Well, it's like everybody's scheduling around each other for when they put stuff out, and right now, 24 hours a day at this point almost. You start getting cross-continental, and you can find something to watch any time of day.
Yeah, that's why I sort of unsubscribed to a lot of the a lot of channels. A lot of channels have gone really downhill anyway. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've unsubscribed to a bunch myself. Just want to say
Yeah.
hello to everybody. 73 MAS, Geezer, Junior Johnson, Williams Watches, my pal Howdy from Texas. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, well said, Blue Shirt. Hi to all the chat. Yeah, howdy from Texas, dear artifacts. I'll go through. I won't go through them all again, but yeah, hi to all the chat. Good to see you all again, guys.
Yeah. Glad everybody made it.
mhm. So we certainly got our answer this week whether brands were going to release stuff or not.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
who do you think made the biggest? Go ahead, Thomas.
I was just going to say, like you two, I've had a bit of watch overload over the past weeks, and this has happened at a bit of an inconvenient time for me because I've been sitting back from watches for a bit, and all of a sudden we have this influx of watches come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but we certainly got a few to look at, haven't we?
Yeah, especially since this is really SIHH, right, or Watches and Wonders. So yeah, I find every year SIHH or Watches and Wonder time is when you get the biggest overload because it's when, at least for me, the most interesting stuff gets released.
Right.
It's not just right because at Basel you see 2 or 3 things. You see, okay, those are going to be the hot models. Paddock is going to have like 4 or 5 new things. A lot of the new models are just variations. But Watches and Wonders is when everything crazy comes out. So
Yeah, agreed.
From what
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Some people made comments about some real nice new pieces out there, and gotta take a look at that.
There's a lot of cool stuff that came out, and what's fun, at least this year, is that a lot of stuff at different price points came out. That's really cool. I thought that was really cool. You know, not just the crazy high end. There's cool stuff even at lower price points this year.
Who do you think had the best releases this year of what we've seen?
That's really hard to say. I mean, I
think Vacheron did well. I think
Yeah.
Jaeger LeCoultre did well.
Yeah, I feel like JLC did very well because they have like the super crazy high end watch, and they have the affordable stuff too.
Mhm.
So I thought that was good.
Well, that's
Vacheron
more-
definitely got lots of stuff out. That's
Yes.
cool.
Yes. I mean, I think JLC followed their business model. You know, bringing out some real high end stuff, but then, you know, also revamping some of their bread and butter entry level models, which is one of the great things about JLC is that they offer both.
Yep. Yeah, no, they did really, really well. I thought if we're gonna, well, I mean, I guess we can start with JLC and then
Sure, why not?
work our way through to others. But what I thought was really cool about JLC, I mean, sure, they have I forget what the name of it. They have that like really crazy one that I guess we could look at first, right? And just
the Master Grand Traditional.
Yeah,
the Master Grand Tradition Grand Complication.
Yeah, that one, you know, it's another one of those like crazy dream watches. It's
340,000 euros.
I have to say it's expensive, but I think it's even more value for money than the Westminster was last year. And I know
I was going to say that it's half the price of the Westminster chimes.
And look, it's really weird to be saying that the Westminster was great value for the money, but I thought it was, right. It's that's like a crazy watch for the money. But the JLC one, it's just, any other brand that's like $1 million watch, right? It's crazy nice. I'm trying to find it on the Watches and Wonders site. Why can't I find it? To send it to you, flipping.
I'll put it in the chat. I'll put the name of it in the chat.
Oh,
okay,
good man,
great.
Thomas. Good man.
Thank you, guys.
I think I'm also tired this week today, so having
The
trouble.
days are just blending one into the next, into the next,
Yep.
into the
Yeah.
next.
Mhm.
I want to do so much, and then I end up just doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they came out with like I think this one was technically added last year at some point. I think this is the new version. It's the rose gold one that they just came out with. I think it's a little bit different than that one. The one that they came out with.
If you type 2020 afterwards, it might bring up the new reference.
Why can't I find it on Watches and Wonders?
It was there yesterday,
Yeah,
right?
I can't find it. How many people does it take to find?
Yeah, the new one is like that crazy mesh.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Let me look at it.
Okay, yeah, here.
JLC.
Okay.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah, if you go to that site, flipping, and then you, it's actually there. So this one is really, really well done, really cool. The dial, the mesh dial, everything about it is just amazing.
It is. And did you hear a chime? Oh man, it's magical.
Yeah, but you have the part of the reason why it chimes so well is JLC developed that thing. They had it with they had one that really cool minute repeater that costs a ton of money, that has a 15-day power reserve and is waterproof. It's one of the few or only minute repeaters that's waterproof. So part of the reason why it chimes so well is that you see this little plaque on the back where the gong are sort of touching the sapphire crystal. So they actually make it so that it projects the sound better. So
turning the sapphire into a speaker.
Well,
amplifies the using the sapphire to aid the amplification of the gong, aren't they?
Yeah, the sapphire in the entire watch, because that's one of the biggest problems with minute repeaters is that you'll affect the sound a lot with even just the material of the case, right? And I think often a lot of people have said like things like steel will be better for the sound of the minute repeater, but who's going to produce a $500,000 minute repeater in a steel case? Just doesn't make that much sense. But JLC found a way to really make it work well.
And how much power do they have? Like how many hours?
This one I don't know. The other one they used to have 15 days of power reserve. This one, I don't know. It might not have that much power reserve. At the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff running here, right? Including the tourbillon that goes around the dial and all that stuff. So it's...
And doesn't this light up the astronomical stars in the northern hemisphere or something?
It's actually, what it shows you is the sky from JLC's headquarters.
Oh, is that what it is?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's technically like northern hemisphere, right? But they tune it to a very specific way so that it's what you would see from their headquarters. And a lot of manufacturers that make an astronomic type of watch like that will do that, right? It'll be like, okay, this is what it should look like in Geneva or in this other place in Switzerland. Now, how is it different from one to the other? Right? It's all in Switzerland. It should be pretty similar, but it's a tiny little bit different.
Yeah, I know some manufacturers will let you customize it, and they'll put the sky of wherever you're at or wherever you want it at. I don't know if that's the case with this one.
This particular one, no, but usually you're right. Usually they will customize it, like a lot of other brands. That's what they'll do. And for this one, the tourbillon revolves around the dial, and it revolves like every 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4.1 seconds. Yeah, so that it's really like it's really the Earth's rotation, right? Not like the standard.
Oh wow!
There's no real motion to it then.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool the way they've made it.
Flying tourbillon?
Yes. Yep.
Wow! Look at that.
That's
amazing.
And this is like all the even though it's master, right? They call it master, and it's technically part of the master series, the same way like the Westminster is, but this is really like the Hybris Mechanica series. And once you get to that level, that's even a step above the geomat. The finishing is,
right. This is literally one or two master watchmakers building this.
Yeah, I at this level, right? Sure, everybody says Global Fosse as like the best finishing there is, right? But probably Dufault has better finishing. But aside from those, right? This is as good as you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks very impressive, doesn't it?
Yep.
That's just amazing.
Jesus. Okay. Guy across the road from me. This is unrelated. I just spotted him. I heard some grinding on the asphalt. Dude came driving his truck around the corner, and it looks like he's got two wheels, and that's it.
Well, wow. That's some sort of mechanical malfunction.
It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Sorry. You usually want in an automobile or truck, you usually want at least four wheels. So.
Yeah, usually helps.
I guess.
Yeah. Yes.
Get a pinch, you can get by on 3, but
yeah, even then you're kind of pushing it. So I feel like I feel like 4 is a good number. Yeah. So yes,
that's why
I mean,
we carry 5.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like really a really cool one. I guess we can look at the master control date now, which is like the second one on right there.
That's the beautiful watch. I mean, they're really harking back to the 50s and 60s with this design look aesthetic, aren't they? I mean, it's not like the master control sector dial that you've got, is it?
Yeah, no, look, this is really like their more traditional one that they had. But so they had one with a black dial and a white dial like this. I feel like this one is closer to 2 generations ago when they had these numerals. Now they have the loom on the dial, right? I think it's not the sector dial, but I feel like they took the standard one and they made it more flexible. They made it so that it's just as classy as before, but it can also be sporty, right? I think it's a much better watch than it used to be.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, and what's really cool is that they stayed with the 899 movement, which is what was in the previous generation of this and in the sector dial. And I think the 899 was what you used to have in yours too, right, Blue Shirt?
Yes.
Yeah. So the one that you had in yours, Blue Shirt, and the one I have in my sector dial was like the second or third generation of the 899 that's thinner. But this one is like that, but with improvements, including it now has a 70-hour power reserve, which I think is really cool for that thin of a watch and that thin of a movement, right? Going to that. Plus, they stick with the movement, so it's still technically the same family of movement, like the previous generation that was and still is in the APs, and they used to be in the Patex and the Vachon. So, I think it's, for the price, it's a really, really cool watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. My only knock with it is that, again, I'm looking at it through tired and older eyes. The contrast isn't great, but it's a beautiful watch.
Yeah, I have to say that if you've ever had one of those, my Master Control chronograph is like this, right?
Yeah.
And I was very, very worried about contrast when I got it, but they made the Dauphine hands in a way that there's always a side that is darker depending on reflection. So it's actually very readable. But, I'm hoping that they do like they've always done with the normal Master Control and bring out like probably a darker dial.
Right.
I think that would be cool too.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
That was the one knock I had with my Master Ultra Thin.
Yeah.
Was that at some angles it was a little bit hard to read. But I'm sure you're right that they'll come out with different dials. But it's still it's striking, and they did a magnificent job.
Yeah, and this is still like I think $6,700 watch or something.
Something like that.
I mean, that's a lot of bang for your buck at that price.
For sure.
Yeah, this is €5,800, which is actually a cracking price.
Yeah. And if you go to the next one, flipping the Master Control calendar.
That's the one I truly love.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah, with the moon phase. Gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous.
So it's almost exactly like their old Master Control calendar, right?
Right, except that was 37 millimeter. This is 40.
Well, they had one for 39, I think, the very last version. Yeah, 39 or 40. But the differences here are really cool. First, this new version, the moon is a little bit better, right? It's the kind of new style of moon where the moon is very simple, but the sky and stars are more complex. That's kind of what's fashionable nowadays. And if you go to the next picture, you'll see that they brought what they did for the Westminster onto this watch. So first off, it's not a crescent moon date pointer anymore. Jaja Lecoult's. Go to the next picture again, Flippin. Will be better. So that's the JLC logo, like they did on the Westminster, instead of being a crescent moon.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
that's clever.
Mm-hmm. And just like the Westminster, right? They had the date skip over the Girotourbillon. Well, now the date skips over the moon phase.
Right. It's brilliant.
I love
so
the
it's
way it goes
blocked.
The way it goes from 15 to 16. Oh, it skips right over. It's a lovely mechanism that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice.
Retrograde.
Yep. Yeah, it's an almost retrograde. So it's really look, it's like a retrograde, except that instead of being at the end, it's in the middle that you have your jump. It's just really, really well executed. Nice movement. I like that they're bringing the gold skeletonized rotor to all of their models. That kind of started with the ultra thins and the sector dials, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really like how they're doing that.
Yeah, I agree. Beautiful watch. Out of the bunch, that's my favorite.
Yeah. And then they also brought what is kind of like the flagship now. It's like, no, not that one. That's just the gold one. The one after Flippin'. Yeah, this one. That's the new. So yeah, it's a complete calendar, so triple calendar and the chronograph. It's based on the 751 chronograph, except that now it's the 759 movement. And what's really cool is that it's in between, like being a module and integrated, right? It's not really just a module. They really created a new movement to add the complete calendar onto the 751 chronograph. So on top of having a complete calendar, you get the full 751 chronograph with everything that it has, right? The vertical clutch, the column wheel, all the improvements that they had on that chronograph, which is, this is a chronograph movement that's suitable for sport watches. Right. So you're getting a really, really solid watch. And again, you can get it in steel. And look, if you're into dress chronos with complications, this by no means is like a replacement for those Patek annual calendar chronos or perpetual calendar chronos, but you're kind of getting in steel a similar watch with a really great movement and that cool complication of having a calendar and a chrono. So
agreed.
Yeah, definitely.
It's beautiful. I love the symmetry, and just sometimes subdials can overtake a watch, but they're very subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right, Blue Shoe. It has got great symmetry, hasn't it?
Over by the crown, are these inset pushers for the date? Is that?
Yep. You'll have two on that side, and you have one on the other side.
Okay.
So because you have to remember that here you have month, day, date, and the moon phase to set.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of complications.
A lot going on.
Yeah, Howdy. That definitely is would have been cool to have those. I think they just ran out of dial space.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh yeah.
The geezer's saying this isn't much more expensive than a Daytona at retail.
Yeah, look, you have and you have a great chronograph movement. I think the JLC 751 series of movement is by far the most overlooked chronograph movement there is out there right now. in great part though because it's not one of those beautiful chronograph movements, right? It's very utilitarian, designed to be, to have good timekeeping and be very tough. But it's a really cool watch.
Yeah, for a watch with a lot of complications, this is a real value proposition. I feel.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, I have the Master Chronograph. If I didn't, that would probably be a watch that I would want. Even though I'm less and less into calendar watches, but I feel like that can be your really cool dress chrono.
Yeah, for sure.
Is this one they'll come out like? Would this ever be in a black dial?
I don't know. It could be, but I'm not sure. They haven't done a black dial chrono in a long time in the Master Series. Although I would assume that this movement would eventually maybe make its way into the Polaris line, maybe.
Do you think?
Maybe. I think GLC likes to reuse their movements once in a while, but it could, right? Because they do have Polaris watches with a not great water resistance, right? So that could be one of them.
Would they ever dabble with a salmon dial, do you think, JLC? This looked great in a salmon or gold dial thing.
I don't know. GLC doesn't do a lot of salmon dials.
No.
No, I've not seen many from them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at this one with the in gold and with the red dates.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful accents there.
I mean, this, I know it's not the same thing, right? It's nowhere near the same thing. But this one, to me, gives the Vachon, like, what is it, the 1941 or 42? It gives that a run for its money, I find. It's maybe a cool alternative for that.
Agreed. And this is a chronograph where the 42 isn't.
Yep. And they did they redid the geographic as well.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite complications of the Master Control series, the geographic.
Yep.
World timer.
Yep, very neat.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I just love the way it doesn't display all the cities of the world around the outside of the rehort.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just at the bottom.
It just displays them at the bottom. It's really, really subtle.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're the first ones, but they're definitely one of the first ones that came up with that type of display. And it's the same thing that Elange, that's how they do their quote unquote world timer, and that's how Nomos does their I think it's called the Zurich. But it's just a really cool way of doing it where you really have two dials, right? The main center dial and the small sub dial with a regular two hands, right? So it's very easy to tell the time. And at the bottom, you just have the city that's selected. And I really would hope that everybody started doing what GLC does, and it's have that second indicator for the cities that have daylight savings, right? So that it always works throughout the year.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great feature.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very cool watch.
Yeah, Geezer, they do. IWC and JLC really do share a lot of those types of things. Great example is the cheap perpetual calendar, the modular model, where the module was actually IWC's original module, and then JLC started using it. So.
What do you think of the next one there, the Reverso 1?
it's nice, but that's more in their that's the women's collection, right?
Yeah, it looks like a ladies' watch.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah, they kind of followed what they did last year, right? Where they started bringing the color tribute versions, like the blue, to the ladies' collection. They're really cool. I like the dials, the texture on the dials.
Yeah, nice textured dial. I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously got some diamonds around the top and bottom of the case.
Yeah, the women's reversos are usually that. They'll have diamonds, just like the rendezvous, and they usually have these types of numerals and a texture on the dial. Yeah. So yeah, I think JLC. I know a lot of us are big fans of the brand, but I think even if you try to be objective about it, I think they yet again had a great year at Watches and Wonder.
agreed.
I'm liking them more and more every day.
Yeah, and in general, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next year, because now if everybody really is at Watches and Wonder or at the same time, I feel like companies like Rolex and Patek may have to up their game a little bit, because what comes out usually at Basel is very subtle, right, and subdued, compared to what comes out at Watches and Wonders, where it seems like every brand is coming out with something super crazy.
Yeah.
So what's the next brand we should look at?
I was just going to go from that Reverso to one that caught my eye, which was the Cartier Tank Asymmetrique, which I put in the chat for you, Isabel.
Yeah, if you want, you can look at the chat, or we could even go through the brands on the on that site, right? If you go on the menu and just go to brands.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like press on those three. Yeah, go to brands and then click on Cartier.
Well, this is a handy layout.
Yeah, and then if you go to
nice navigate.
If you go down a little bit, you'll go down more.
That's the one. Yeah.
More.
See.
Yeah, but it's at the bottom too.
Right.
Yeah. So
for the photos.
Yeah. So the second one, this is just what we were looking at on GLC. So that's the one, right?
Yeah. I found this a really interesting design. It's really caught my eye, this one.
Yeah, it's funky.
Really quirky.
Yeah, I actually think it's a very cool watch. It's got the like the 12. It's kind of like that Vacheron, right? Where the 12.
Yeah, like the 1921, the Vacheron.
Yeah.
Driver's watch. Hold your wrist at an angle.
Yeah, it's a cool watch. It's going to be a pain getting straps for that watch, but it's a cool watch. Yeah. And the skeletonized one is.
Oh.
But look at the next one. The next one is what I like in skeletonized watches. This one is like transparent.
Yeah.
All right. Transparent case back as well.
Yeah, that's really nicely done.
That is cool. Have they ever done anything like these before?
Well, they had the there's the Cartier Crash, I guess.
Yeah, that's fairly
like the Dali one. Yeah. No,
that's the only thing even.
No, I think it's kind of like a first for the tank.
Nice.
Hey, Neo.
Hi,
Neo, what's up, man?
Neo, how you doing, man?
Oh, look, I think it's a really cool watch. I'm sure they're going to sell a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a novelty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a cool watch, right? I think it's nice for them to have something different, right? Instead of having, 10 Santos sizes and 10 tank sizes, and it's cool for them to have something different.
Yeah, there's room for you to join if you want to post the link again, Zippo. I think Neo might want to join.
Oh, sure thing.
And they also updated the Pasha, right? Which is, I don't know, that's never been my favorite round watch, but it's cool.
Also, anybody else? There's room for one more if you want to hop on the stream. Anybody
Yeah, and I
else
can always
fancy
jump
joining on?
off if somebody wants to hop on. So
Jump on, we can talk watches and wonders.
it's nice to see that Cartier's trying and trying some different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and this looks like jewelry over it's got a nice jewelry side to it. So, you can see a woman, be a nice women's watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women's driving watch.
Mhm.
Let's see if anybody's on. Hello, Neo.
Hey guys.
Hi, Neo.
Neo.
I think one thing I've learned from talking to women about watches is that guys actually have no idea what women actually want in watches.
True.
True.
I think these are watches that we think like, fuck, I would wear them if I felt more feminine. But maybe there's that side of you that needs to be explored through a watch.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I mean, we can look at the Pasha because Howdy brought it up, and the Santos is nice too.
Let me get close-ups.
I mean, I have to say, kudos for Watches and Wonders. The site's not perfect, but I'm assuming they weren't going to have that before the coronavirus. I'm assuming that they sort of scrambled to get this done, and they got it done very, very well. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Oh, totally.
If I had a better laptop, I'd be able to zoom in on everything, but
No, can see fine.
okay.
I don't know. Bill was having a big problem with it yesterday morning, but I was on at 7 a.m. yesterday, and I didn't have any issues.
I had a real problem with it. I tried to get on it earlier on today, and I just got a white screen.
Really?
Yeah, it wouldn't load up.
Yeah, like sort of like what Williams is saying. I always look at these Cartiers and I think they're beautiful fashion design, but there's never one that I personally would want to wear.
Yeah. It's a weird watch where you really have to try it, because even if there's one that you really, really like, they wear in a very specific way. I find it's not like a lot of watches, right? You might not. It might be a little bit different when you finally wear it on your wrist, but it's not super different.
Yeah.
But like the Santos, I really like it in pictures, but every time I've tried one on, it's been really, really hard to really like.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed. I felt the same way every time I've gone. And
Is the Roadster, is that part of the Santos line? Is that its own
I think
thing?
it's all.
Yeah, it's its own. It's like the tank, right? And one of the things I have to say about the Santos is the largest size that they have is big. It's a big watch.
Well,
This one's
some
kind
of
of
the watch guy thinks that we should all just go get a Santos.
I love the Santos, but not the 100. It's a bit too big. It's 44 mil, 42 mil. I
Yeah,
love
it's
the
big.
mid-size, the Galbi.
Yeah, the mid-size is nice. I like the tank. The only problem about the tank is, to me, it's always been a watch that I look at it and I think I'd rather get a reverso, right, for the size and the shape.
Agreed.
But you got a cooler crown on the tank.
Yeah, you do. You do.
What do we have here? Some fancy artwork.
Yeah.
It's amazing
that
there's people on the planet that are still into this, able to do this. They're at this level.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the big thing with JLC, where when they started that métier d'art division, right, to try to save all those artisanal crafts.
Is there some weird buzz coming across?
Yeah, don't know who it's coming from.
What is it? Like I've got some scratching on the speaker.
Yeah, there's some feedback.
Yeah.
Is there? Oh. Let me take a look here.
Anyway.
I don't know. Excuse me. Who's next?
One that caught my eye was the. Sorry if you don't mind me butting in next. It's the Piaget Altiplano Ultimate Concept, the thinnest watch ever.
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, I mean
2 millimeters.
2 millimeters thick. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a follow-up
because of that.
Yeah, it's a follow-up to their previous version, and you know what the difference is in the new version compared to the old?
This one costs a lot more.
Well, no, the new one is 100-meter water resistant instead of 30.
Oh, really?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's 400,000 Swiss francs. 2 millimeters thick, 41 millimeter case, and the crown slots into the case. It's a alloy case, which is the strongest material they could find for such a thin case. It's a hand wound and bespoke order only.
I mean, look at that. Like, I feel like a prince of some,
I know, it's
of
just
some nation, and you're like, you can easily, like, why wouldn't you buy this? I mean, look at this. It's so cool.
Fascinating, isn't it?
If you look at there's a video made of the previous version, how it's made. It's made exactly the same way as this one, except this one's a little bit bigger. And now it's waterproof, and so the case itself is the base plate.
Right.
Right.
That's crazy.
There's no real space to have like a movement floating around. So the case back is the base plate. There's obviously no removable case back, and the crystal is actually glued on. Right, it's still serviceable, but it's glued on because you can't really screw it in or anything like that. And the crown, they actually give you like a small tool, so you pull it out, and then there's like a small screwdriver or ply or whatever that goes around it, and you can turn so that it's a little bit easier to work with.
Yeah, it's crazy, the technology.
Yeah.
Just amazing, isn't it? 2 millimeters. I mean, that's less the thickness of a coin.
Yeah.
I heard online on a video that they had this in a cabinet last year as a prototype, and they wouldn't let anybody look at it because it's so fragile.
Right. Yeah, I heard that.
What is the case made out of?
It's a cobalt alloy,
Oh wow,
which is the strongest material I could find, and
that's crazy.
So 41 millimeters by 2 millimeters. That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the entire watch, not the movement.
Right.
I know,
Entire thing.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, watch habit. It's. I think it's thinner than the movement in the Bulgari.
And if you see with the dial or the hand, that it's sunk below where the balance wheel is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Will we ever get a watch thinner than this, do you think?
I think so.
Really?
It'll be a long
maybe,
time, but the way they're working on like new materials and whatnot, I think so.
yeah.
Thinner than 2
It'll take a while, but there's not by much, but somebody will fight for that title.
Yeah, you got to believe that Bulgari's pretty pissed about this.
But I don't think Bulgari was ever as thin as even the previous version of this watch, right? Bulgari was always the thinnest automatic, not actually the thinnest watch in the world, right?
And I think for a while they did go back and forth, though, didn't they? Like every 2 years, the title would switch between them. That kind of ended. I think that, like, when this thing came out, they were like, all right. But you're right. I think it is towards the automatic and even like the mechanical, the manual one. But like, I think this is not considered an acceptable, like a different type of movement.
Yeah.
Good for Piaget.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to put in perspective, the Octofinissimo that is really, really thin, the movement is 2.23 millimeters thick. So the movement in the really, really thin Bulgari is thicker than this watch. And I think the previous generation was also this thin or almost this thin, but it was smaller and it wasn't waterproof.
I wonder how thin this watch could be if it didn't have to actually operate as a watch. So like they didn't have to have the crystal on it, and it had to maintain form. So like they couldn't make it so thin that it would like warp. But I wonder how thin they could actually make it.
What if you took the glass off and just had the hands on? You mean?
Yeah.
I mean, probably if you just made it the thickness of the back plate, although I'm thinking that the bezel thickness adds a lot of structural integrity.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So you might not be able to get it much, much thinner than that. Because you have to remember, right, the case can't flex at all. If it flexes by like a micron, you're breaking the movement.
Yeah.
Is there anything else by these guys that's interesting, or is it a lot of?
That was the one that caught my eye. Yeah, it's just a lot of jewelry orientated stuff, I think.
Yeah, most of everything else was kind of new dials, new finishes, new bezels, like this, which is a special.
Okay, there's a brand that I don't think we've ever talked to that is it these guys? We've never talked about these guys, but they do weird stuff. Oh yeah, this is them.
Yeah, they do the. They have the like liquid.
Like bellows or something.
Yeah, for winding the watch. It's a really cool watch. They're not crazy popular, but they get some attention.
I've never seen them. That's interesting so far. Brought this to my attention.
No, I don't think I've ever seen this one either.
No.
HYT.
Yeah. It's
Have you
very
seen any of
expensive.
them? Yeah, they're
No.
okay. There's one that Axl Rose wears.
So these, how does this work then? Do you know much about these NS?
Yeah. So the
This blue liquid going around the outer of the
well,
bezel.
like those. Yeah. You at the center you have those kind of bellows, right?
Yeah, bomb.
With fluid in them, and yeah, it's a cool concept.
A little gimmicky.
I mean, I don't want to say it is right. It does serve a purpose, but if you remove that, my big problem with HYT has always been that if you remove that piece of it, what do you have left? Right? It's a it's a watch. So
Like I think if somebody came out with a watch that had like a little steam engine in it, would that be considered amazing horology? That's kind of how I think of these guys. They're just ticking off with a different mechanism.
yeah, it's also that they're, again, right. It's a very normal watch once you remove that part of it. It's not like, let's say, Orework or an MB&F where they'll have something cool like this somewhere in the movement, but then the rest of the watch is like a crazy, super cool watch at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's
different.
Yeah.
They look kind of cool.
I just
move
put.
on to
Oh, go ahead.
Blue
Tom.
Shirt.
No, I was just going to say, unless somebody wants to bring something else, can we jump to Elanga and Zona?
I was just going to say, should we move on to your new Grail?
Yeah, I posted it in the private chat for you, Zippo.
In all caps.
In all caps. But you can maneuver in the Watches and Wonders website.
Yeah, it's the new white gold blue dial one.
Yeah,
this is one hell of a watch, isn't it? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There's the front and then the back.
Just look at that. If you see the Langer video of it, it just looks amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's. I mean, I didn't at watch time. I tried on just the regular Zeit work, not this minute repeater. But it's an amazing watch.
I mean, this is going for 449,000 euros. It's a limited edition of 30.
Yeah.
With the blue dial. It's white gold. Gorgeous.
Somebody actually put the strap on backwards on this one.
And Chip is correct. Yes, that is a lot more substantial on the wrist than
yes.
what we saw.
Yeah, you have to have. I would say. I mean, it was fine on my 7.5. You'd need at least the 7 or 7.25 inch wrist for it. It's a big watch, but man, is it just amazing! It's absolutely amazing.
Bruce, Blue Shirt.
I think it's 44.
Yeah, I think 44. You have to check. It's 44.2.
0.2. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lucert, if you ended up getting a regular Zeit work, would you feel like that's settling at this point?
Well, no. I mean, what the regular Zeit work is, I forget how much that is. I mean, this is just a silly, dream watch.
Oh yeah, no, this is totally on one of my dream watch lists. Yeah.
I mean, I love minute repeaters. I just have a thing for them, and this one sounds so sweet.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I love the way it sounds, and I love the way it actually tells time.
Yes,
makes a lot more sense to follow it.
yeah. I mean, not everybody's into having a digital display, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You look down, and you instantly know what time it is.
And Wisconsin Watch Guy is asking, would you rather get that Zeitwerk or the Piaget? And everybody's saying Zeitwerk.
Zeitwerk.
Yeah, Zeitwerk,
no
hands
question.
down.
No question.
Yeah, definitely Zeitwerk. I feel like that Piaget is, to me, the person who buys that Piaget is the same. It's the same as the Piaget themselves, right? It's the watch you buy, you put like in a display case, and you show people, hey, look, I've got the thinnest watch in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a
It's a
conversation
novelty,
piece.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you're buying
Novelty.
like a sculpture or something.
Yeah, it's just going to be a safe
Absolutely.
queen, and
Yeah.
just you have it. But this, I mean,
Yeah.
you could wear every day if you wanted to.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's
I
called
can just
watches and
imagine walking through a doorway and hitting the Piaget, right?
Oh.
You just-
Yeah.
You put
Oh,
the
yeah.
strap on too tight, and it
Watches and
might,
Wonders.
Yeah.
It's called Watches and Wonders, and I think the Piaget is more of a wonder than a watch, really, isn't it?
Well
Yeah,
said. Well said. But yeah, I love the dimensions, the proportions, the look of it. It's just. I don't know. I don't know which one I was drooling over more, the Zeitwerk or the Datograph. Both were amazing.
and then they came out with the Odysseus.
This
in-
is, yeah. If you
Yeah.
just scroll onto that.
Yeah,
zip
in
file.
Yeah,
precious
white gold.
metals.
Yep. In either
And
leather
gold
or
Odysseus.
or a rubber strap.
yeah,
Yep.
this
And
is
then
the one for
everybody
me.
on the internet, all the talking heads, were like, "Oh, I finally like it. I finally get it." Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't.
absolutely.
because now
I don't.
the
I don't
nice-
get this at all.
Yeah, but
I
I
get
get
it.
it.
Rubber or leather,
It-
integrated rubber or leather strap, yeah, in white gold.
But non-interchangeable.
No, it's not interchangeable because it's in white gold and the original came out in steel. It's not interchangeable with the steel
Yeah,
bracelet.
Right, and it's not interchangeable between the leather and the rubber. It's
Really?
one or the other. That's it.
Right,
Really?
yeah.
Yep.
that's
Yep.
crazy.
I would watch the Watch Advisor
I did
interview
too,
with
yeah.
the CEO. Said, yeah, nope, they're not interchangeable at all.
One or the other, yeah.
It's one or the other.
39,500 euros, and it's one or the other.
And I completely agree with you, Geezer. And honestly, I would like the steel in this one. And
Yep.
if I really wanted a strap, I'd just go to like a combat strap or something and just have
Right.
them do a custom.
I love it on that
Completely
brown
agree.
leather strap, though, to be honest with you. I think it looks gorgeous on that brown leather strap. With
It does.
With the grey dial instead of the
does.
blue dial.
Yeah, I
to
like
me,
the
great.
this
black
is-
rubber.
What? Sorry?
I like it on the black, the rubber.
Yeah, the rubber's nice too.
Yeah, I think that grey dial really adds a different dimension to it, adds something different to it, rather than the blue steel.
Yeah, this is really them going after. I get the original Odysseus. It's somebody that wants a Lange that they can wear every day, right?
Right.
This one to me is really going after the Nautilus, the gold Nautilus with a leather strap type of market.
Mm.
I-
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw it with the strap, it just put it in that overseas category for me, though. It reminded me so much of the overseas, and
Yep.
it just reminded me of a failed Nautilus and Royal Oak.
Oh, like I don't think I would ever actually go buy one of these. Like even if I could afford it, like I did there'd be other watches I would buy before the Odysseus. I'd rather get the Moser Chrono before this, as an example.
Yeah, definitely. It's
I mean, there's so many other Langes I'd rather have before any of the Odysseus's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Like a datograph and a Zeitwerk.
Right.
Yeah.
And the 1815 up down.
Yep.
And
But you're
Geezer, I
paying a
don't
lot
think
more
there
money
is a
for those.
picture. I don't think there is a picture of the clasp. I'd have to look. I'm looking at the video, and even the video doesn't show the clasp. So I think we'll have to wait.
Was there anything else from Longa?
I think that was it.
Yeah,
Right?
I think
Unless missed
that's
something.
But you got to
So-
think the longest had a pretty busy year, right? They've been releasing the anniversary models, like,
Mm-hmm.
like 10 of them, right?
Mhm.
One that caught my eye again was the Laurent Ferrier Grand Sport Tourbillon.
Yes.
And so, I mean, this came out last year, but they've just put a brace on it this year. But the tourbillons on the back of the case is hidden from the front.
Right.
You can't actually see it from the front. You can only see it from the back.
Yeah, that's very like the Paddock. I don't know. I've never been. I like Laurent Ferrier in general. I've never been a fan of that Grand Sport. I feel like it's way too close to the Nautilus. If you look at the picture of the front,
Yeah,
it's
it is very like it, isn't it?
yeah. I find it's just I like how Laurent Ferrier is really trying to have like his own identity with the Galet case and the cushion case and everything else. But I kind of feel I don't know if it's the case itself or if it's the bracelet or what. But
How about the candy corn dial or hands and indices?
Yeah, I like that. To me, it sort of feels like a cross between a Paddock and a Panerai.
Yeah.
Really,
I like this case and the design,
I like it. Yeah,
but I want like like a $15,000 version.
yeah. It's the Galaxy case. I mean, this is 172,000 Swiss francs.
Ooh.
So
Like I don't want a Torio. Like I could care less. That
only 12 made.
I find his more classic watches are better to me, at least. I like them more. But it's a nice movement, it's a cool watch. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a brand that's, maybe it's just me, but I feel like Laurent Ferrier is a brand that's running out of steam a little bit.
Really.
Yeah.
yeah, I think he probably like. Do you think like his personality and what he brings to the table would work with like MBNF?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what he would bring to that table though.
Yeah, he did do a cooperation with another watchmaker, didn't he? But yeah, I don't know.
Well, haven't we discussed with even last week or a couple weeks ago that what's going to happen to them? Will they survive this? Will they survive when he's not around anymore?
Yeah, he said. I think Ines said that last week. Yeah, or on Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, you brought up Panerai. Should we go to
Yeah,
Panerai
absolutely.
next?
I was going to say that.
Because they certainly had a cool showing.
They did.
In very large case sizes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, they're big on these experiences that go along with some of their watches.
Yeah, that one on the far left, the PAM 01117. tribute to luminescence. Super Luminova applied to the Rehawk crown and protecting bridge and strap stitching. So it lights up for an hour, this Luminova. It's Panerai celebrating 70 years since the introduction of the use of luminor instead of radium in these watches, and they apparently get 70 years guarantee offered.
That's the wild thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just these, or is that with all their new models?
Just these ones, I think.
Yeah, just this one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. Boys, it's going to glow like a flashlight.
Yeah, you're paying 19,000 euros for this one, so you are paying the price.
Yeah.
It's a Carbotech one.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I like Lume just like the next guy, but I don't need the stitching on my strap to glow. And
yeah. But it's a cool watch.
It is. It is.
The case looks really nice. Yeah, they did a great job. And Panerai is another brand that's been releasing a lot of cool stuff. That green line that they came out with just at the end of last year, and now this, they're really coming out with a lot of cool stuff.
I love the one they released last year, the blue Carbotech. That was really nice.
Yep.
Expensive, but nice.
Yeah, my favorite one is the 1661 that got released in January. But they also have like a movement with 3 that's been like printed, 3D printed. And they're trying to get to full a watch made fully on recycled parts. The warranty is now like 70 years warranty on some of these.
Yeah. I read that yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the 1661, which started this whole line, is still my favorite one.
Yeah, I think this is a new blue dial model. No.
Yeah, maybe I can send the link in the private chat. He's able to pull that thing up.
Will do.
Speaking of green dial Panerais, did you guys see the new green, orange Bell and Ross?
I didn't see that.
No, I didn't. Neo. No, I heard he chatting about it.
Yeah.
I will have to look it up.
I haven't seen it myself yet. I'd love to see it.
Basically, they take the color scheme from like a particular, bomber jacket. That's olive green and orange.
Oh, is that from the A1, the MA1?
Yep.
Jacket?
Yep.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah, like I think
this is the Pam you like, Neo?
Yeah, so that's the one that started this entire series. So it's the 1661. The other ones are like 1662s, 1663s.
Is that what's that case made out of?
That's cool.
It's Carbotech.
It is okay.
Yeah, that's a cool watch.
It really bugs me that there's a date there, but
at least they got the black background, and
right.
They could have blued the numbers on it. But.
It's a sandwich style, which I really like it when you do sandwich styles. Yeah, I love the second sub-dial.
Yeah, I kind of like it too.
Otherwise, you have no idea if your watch is
running or not.
You got to turn it over and look at the movement.
Yeah.
Well, at least on mine.
I must say, when I bought mine out, that was one of the things I really liked about it. The 9 o'clock second dial.
Wisconsin watch guy probably want like a 1, 1, 1, 1, or 1, 1, 1, 2.
That's definitely cool.
Yeah. But I like everything they've done on this entire line.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're really turning stuff around in their own way.
Yep.
It's still like a love it or hate it brand, right? It's the design is either
Yeah, definitely. Very Marmite brand.
I mean, I love the design, and I've got to say, I wonder how many people would give them more of a chance if they had smaller case sizes.
Well, I think this one's a 42,
Mm-hmm.
which I have like 7.25-inch wrists in it. It's kind of like just perfect.
Yeah. I think if they could do more in the 40 to 42 range, right? They don't have to be like a company that does all the way down to 36 or something. But if they could do more in that range, 40, 42, I think they would get, they'd get a little bit more people looking into them.
Yeah, like even Bell and Ross, right? They started off with really big watches, the same time as Panerai, and now they have the BR03, which is a much smaller watch than the BR01's line.
Yeah. Because I remember the last time I was in an AD that had Panerai. I mean, all the watches, even just in the display case, looked so huge. I can see people not even wanting to try one on. They just look massive.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
when you walk past the window of a Panerai AD and they've got 47mm watches in the window, I mean, it really does put you off a bit.
but you know,
They're just a bit too big, some of them.
I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say you guys aren't the type of guys that wear speedos.
No.
See, if you wore a speedo, you may want a 47-inch Panerai. 47
Yeah, if you wear a speed, but if you wear a speedo, right, are you gonna buy a 47mm Panerai, or are you just gonna go for the gold sub?
Yeah, the gold sub, I guess.
Yeah.
Thomas, yours is a 44, right?
Yeah, 44. Yeah. So, should we head back to the Watches and Wonders site?
Sure thing.
I think we should look at another one that's really doing well. It's Mont Blanc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta say they've got a lot of stuff, cool stuff. That's we'll look at Vacheron next. There's so much stuff in Vacheron to look at.
Oh
Yep,
yeah,
that's for sure.
that's like the gold pot.
Yeah, it's like that. You know, last year Vacheron like that maybe one or two really high end watches, right? Like the Twin Beat, but this year it's like they have 6 or whatever. It's crazy. Yeah, finally the Geosphere in blue. That's cool.
Yeah, they re-released the Geosphere in blue, didn't they?
Yeah.
We looked at that in green before, didn't we? And got that in blue now.
That's a cool watch. You know, not fully in-house, but hey, Orange Hand. You know, not fully in-house, but it's cool. It's relatively cheap. It's a nice watch.
Yeah, agreed.
There's the split-second chrono that we looked at last week. That's way too expensive, but has that beautiful Minerva movement too. Yeah, they're cool watches.
That looks good.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's a cool watch. Who makes it? Mont Blanc. You mean the pen company?
Yeah. But with that
The split-second chrono is cool too.
Yeah. And with that Minerva movement, that's just wish it wasn't $30,000.
Is that how much it is, really? Wow.
Yep. And they have that new funky 24-hour
Mhm.
dial watch, one hand, kind of like a Meister
Yeah,
Singer.
mono hand. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Like a
got,
master singer, isn't it?
yeah, and it has they did a cool design choice where only the bezel is bronze.
What do you think to these mono hand watches? Do you think they're easy to read? Would you invest in one?
I wouldn't. Not my cup of tea.
I think it's like the Meister Singers. They're kind of like a gadget type of
Yeah.
watch. But these aren't expensive, right? I thought I saw they're like $3,000-4,000. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, they
It
have
looks more like
cool-
a compass than anything else.
yeah, that's what kind of what they were looking for. Yeah, they
Or
have
if it has a.
cool stuff.
Mhm.
I really would like to know how many people are going to buy this on the planet. 10, 15?
The 24-hour one?
No,
Well,
like the one handle one. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's going to depend on price, right? Because if you're, I mean, how much are these going to go for? If they start out retail at around $4,000, they're going to end up in like a Joma shop for like maybe $1,500 or something. I think people are going to buy them. But I'd agree that it's really more curiosity. And you know, Watchbox had that interview with Meister Singer, and they're doing well. They're like thriving as a company. So there might be a market.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
they only do one hand watches, don't they?
Yeah. So
I like
we
this-
already, yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah, I like the split-second chrono the best out of the group.
I was gonna say, have we totally exhausted Mont Blanc? Is it time to go to Vachon? Maybe it is.
Yeah, let's carry on.
They certainly brought a lot to the table for this show.
They did. They definitely did.
Did they win?
Well, you don't really win a trade show.
We kind of win.
Yeah. I mean, this first one is really, really cool, right? The double-sided.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's not my cup of tea, but
Was
it's
it 24
really-
complications?
Yeah, this feels like they're like the double-sided Patek, right? The Grandmaster Chime. It's kind of like that. I think it's better executed. It certainly looks nicer. It looks like it's not a 50 millimeter thick watch or anything like that. I think they did great at having a watch with tons of complications that doesn't look like a pocket watch strapped to your wrist.
But some of these complications are like astronomical complications at the same time, right?
Yeah, it really is like just. This is, to me, this is kind of like the Piaget, but if you go into the totally different direction, right? It's kind of like just because we could type of thing.
Oh, it's watchmaking masturbation for sure. But
Yeah.
when you think about it, their only reference point is a second. And every other one of these complications is hinging off of the second.
Yeah.
And that just blows my mind when I think about it. And they put it all like, I think, how thick is this? Is this like, is it 16 millimeter?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not terrible.
Your average 750 base watch is like 15.5 millimeters.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say it's and the thickness is great, and it also looks like a nice watch.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because if you compare it to like I'm, I like Patek. I like a lot of watches that they make, but the Grandmaster Chime, to me, it looks awful, and it's like thick, and it looks like a really awkward watch. This looks like a cool watch.
Yeah, I mean, this watch definitely makes a statement, bringing Vacheron. You know, it's hard to ignore them. I don't know if it was easy to ignore them before, but it just became harder to ignore them once they're showing this stuff off.
But I agree with you, Geezer. Geezer in the chat is saying that last year's Twin Beat is probably his favorite recent release. I agree with you. I think to me still, it's weird because I still think, even on the JLC side, right? I don't know what it was about last year, but I'm still, like, I still constantly think about the Twin Beat and the Westminster.
Yeah. I agree.
But the other release from Les Cabinetiers, the astronomical striking grand complication, that one I actually like it better than this one. I find that one really cool. And it's interesting because it's a lot of companies are coming out with astronomic complications. F. Pigeon, Vacheron, GLC.
Yeah, I think those are like the romantic capital R side of it. It's like, yeah, we're able to calculate the cosmos off of our wrist. How cool is that?
Yeah,
it's pretty damn cool.
Mm-hmm.
Using gears and springs and levers.
Yes, it's hard, isn't it? Wow.
so I think you can go to the next one. Flipping
Okay.
astronomical.
Striking the grand complication.
Yeah. And on the back, it's got the stars like the JLC, the constellations. It's a very, very cool watch.
Just amazing. Kind of makes a Samaritan look not that different from an Invective, does it?
Yep. I mean, below this, it's all Casios. Cool watch, and they did the dial very well. The case, Vacheron to me is one of those. They're not the only ones, obviously. Moser does nice cases. A lot of companies do nice cases, but I do think that for their dress watches, they're one of the few that have always spent a lot of time on the cases and the lugs and everything, not just the dial and the hands.
So, like, some of you guys must have Apple Watches out there. Is there a face that you could put on your Apple Watch that has, like, it could look like this, have all these types of complications?
I don't know. I'd have to look into it. I use the standard. I do have an Apple Watch. I use one of the standard watch faces. It's weird. I've never been into. I find, like, on an Apple Watch, what's cool is to see all the information you want to see. If I want something that looks nice, I'd rather just wear a real watch.
But that could be interesting. You don't have to, like, copy this per se, but show some of these calculations that could be done. Some of these astronomical calculations.
Yeah, it does show, like some of the standard faces do show some of it, but not in a cool way like this.
Wow.
And then
If only somebody knew, like, how to program on the Mac. To do something like that, huh?
Yeah, you'd think that would be one of the first things people would do is change that up.
Yeah, Geezer, you're right. It's very close to the astronomic.
It's beautiful.
Oh, shoot. You guys probably can't hear me, can you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I unplugged a different camera here.
And for the record, the astronomic from Jordan and this watch, those are real astronomic complications, not like Jacob and Co, where you just have a shiny quartz crystal
Yeah.
rotating
Shiny,
around
spinny thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trying to figure out what everything is here. And
while we're talking about quartz crystals, I must say I made a fool of myself last week when we were talking about aventurine. It's actually a mineral like quartz. It comes in a rock form. And
actually, it's the two.
Say again?
It's actually two things, Thomas. You were right. They use the word adventuring to refer to two things, including that crystal. But that crystal, if you look at it, doesn't necessarily come in the colors that you see on the dials. So it is the process to color it, and they use copper and all kinds of things. So you weren't 100% off.
All right. I looked it up on it said it comes in several colors, including blue.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it has the speckles inside it. So I presume they take a slice of aventurine and polish it up and stick it on the dial.
And Geezer, I wonder which one is easier to get, because will the astronomic be like the Grandmaster chime when there's like a waiting list? Because I remember that the Grandmaster chime from Jaune, he made like I think 3 a year or 4, and the wait time was like 3 years to get one. So I don't know if this one you could actually get faster than astronomic. So should we look at the overseas?
Yes, please.
Perpetual.
Yeah, the overseas. There's a brand new bracelet.
Yeah. That's a cool watch.
Very. I like the non-skeletonized version better, but
yeah,
as skeletons go, this is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big skeleton guy.
The skeleton, the skeleton version looks a little bit like the MB&F legacy machine, right? Where it's skeletonized, but you still see stuff pretty clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, they still have kind of like it's skeletonized, but you still have at least a white background where you need it.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. It's not like some of these, like some of the Richard Mille, where, like, let's say the months, right? The months would all be like on a transparent background.
Right.
Right. Here it's still readable, right? You can tell the time with that watch.
Right.
Yeah, there's still some definition to the dial that you can make it makes it more legible.
To me, it's a great balance between being able to see as much of the movement as possible, yet still being able to read it. And the back looks phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can get it with the blue dial and the normal rotor. Beautiful watch.
Yeah, this is the one I like.
And
Love
we're
that.
just getting started in the
Yeah.
There's more releases. So.
That is so beautiful, so thin.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
This is
I
one
think
of my top perpetual calendars. It's
yeah,
just
I've
gorgeous.
seen this. I've seen this one in the metal, and it really is a nice watch. The ultra thin. It's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
I've not seen it on the gold bracelet, obviously, but yeah, it's a stunning watch. But, not one that I'd personally go for. To be honest with you.
I just love how
Oh.
everything's laid out, and it's a little crowded, but you can still read it.
Yeah,
It's just
it is
how
nice. It is
how thin it
gorgeous.
is. It's just beautiful.
Do you like it more on the gold bracelet now, blue shirt?
Normally, I'm a bracelet guy, but I kind of like it on the leather. But
Geezer,
the
I'd
bracelet is
get
beautiful too.
Geezer, I'd get this over the AP.
Yeah, I would get this over the AP too.
Totally. And I would get the bracelet because it looks so hot.
Well, I wonder if they give you the bracelet and the strap with this.
They
That's a
probably
good
do, to
question.
be honest. I think they normally do with their strap lock systems.
If you get the
Yeah.
bracelet, it's going to come with the rubber and the leather as well. I just don't know if you can buy it without the bracelet.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you buy the bracelet, I'm sure you get the leather and rubber included.
Yeah, they're all like that, the new ones. Even the steel. When you buy the steel one, you get the rubber, the bracelet, and the leather. And I think you
And a
get
deployant.
you get the deployant for the rubber and for the leather. So.
It's a great great value prop.
Mhm.
yeah.
The straps mechanism is so easy as well. It's just literally you flick a latch on the back and it comes
Mhm.
off. It's
Yep.
such an easy mechanism to use.
And for this watch, I'd forgive it for not having stop seconds.
Yeah.
But it's just beautiful.
What else do they have? Lots.
Well, the next two are like kind of more jewelry watches, but then you get to the traditionnel tourbillon chronograph, which
Reissued the
is
56, haven't they?
yeah. But let's look at the tourbillon chronograph first because the back looks amazing.
Wow.
Okay.
The movement.
I hadn't
is
seen
just-
this one yet.
Yeah, the movement is just beautiful.
Yeah, that's an amazing watch.
Yeah.
With the Maltese cross
Mhm.
in the middle of the column wheel. I love how they do that on their chronos. It's just
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
instead of having a normal column wheel, right? They just put the Maltese cross right there in the middle.
Wow, beautiful.
The tourbillon cage, the bridges. It's just you do get like a 3D kind of look like on a Lange. Or sure, it's not a datograph or anything, but it's a beautiful watch.
Yeah. And the nice thing about Vacheron, not on all their watches, but on a lot of them, you get the Geneva seal not only on the movement but on the case as well.
Mhm. Orange and part of the reason why they cover it up is that there's not much to see there. The column wheel in Paddock's defense, right? I know some people complain about that, but there's nothing to see. You have a pinion in the middle, and then just the notches on the sides. But beautiful watches.
Yeah.
And then you got the 56 that they.
The brown dial.
Yeah, brown dial. Beautiful watches.
I really like the 56.
Yeah.
I think it's a lovely watch.
Yeah, it was nice. I tried a bunch of them on at watch time. They're nice.
I think this is like the best looking 56 they've ever had.
Yeah, it's a really cool dial, especially with the rose gold. It fits very, very well. It's a great contrast with the moon phase as well.
Mm. But unfortunately, it's not a Geneva Seal movement.
Yeah, it's. But I have to say, the ones with the Valfleury movement, because I think the complete calendar. That's I think the complete calendar as a Vacheron movement, right?
It does. Yep.
Look, I think the whole 56 series. Especially the ones with the Valfleury movement, I feel like a lot of people sort of are into the whole, like, everything has to be in-house now, but to me it still respects the spirit of the brand, because that's what these watches used to be, right? Patek, Vacheron, AP, they used to be watches where the company itself made almost nothing.
Right.
They were outsourced movements, outsourced cases, outsourced almost everything.
Right.
They'd put them together, they'd finish them by hand, they'd put their touch on it. So it's not like, it's not like JLC, that's always been in-house or mostly in-house, right? Would turn around and started using Miyota movements, right? Then I'd say, yeah, that's not a JLC anymore. But I look at this and I don't think you can say, hey, that's not a real Vacheron.
No,
Vacheron.
for real,
nice
it's still a real Vacheron. I agree.
And then they have their new, like, crazy cabinetier, the enamel dials, and the singing birds.
So yeah, Bill liked that singing bird.
Yeah, they're just really cool. That's like you go out and you buy like a Van Gogh, but you strap it to your wrist.
Yeah.
And it's got the, sort of crazy hours movement too, right?
Yeah, it's got like a retrograde for the minutes, and I guess I'm.
Well, and that disc swings, and then the hours jump in different places. If you really zoom in to that 12, you can sort of see that it's on another plane.
Yeah, it's another disc, right? Yeah, it's
That's
really
pretty interesting.
Cool, yeah, it's a cool watch.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're painted by hand.
Yeah.
Probably by like some 12-year-old prodigy.
Yeah, you were mentioning Belarus, weren't you, Neil? That you.
Well, they're not. They got released
by
like a few days. I think like a day before Watches and Wonders. Maybe
right.
the day of Watches and Wonders.
So what haven't we looked at yet? I guess.
The Hermes.
Yeah, Hermes is nice. There's a lot of brands that haven't really released, right? That are coming soon. So
Yeah, they probably weren't ready, right, with what they wanted to put out.
yeah.
Yeah, that Vacheron overseas was $88,000. If you've got that spare.
Mere bag of shekels.
Yeah.
I think it's everybody so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hermes has just been.
Oh, this one really got me. The Hermes Arcure de la Lune. These dials are made of lapis lazuli, blue pearl stone, lunar meteorite, black Sahara meteorite, and Martian meteorite, which there are only going to be 2 made.
Oh,
So you can actually wear a bit of Mars on your wrist.
Nice.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they've definitely improved a lot their watches since they've had that deal with the whole ownership with Vaucher, right? Um, that's really cool. The only thing about Hermes, I have to say, as nice as their watches are becoming, their website still totally sucks.
Hi.
Where they have everything in like a Courier or whatever font. Like they're trying to be edgy for 2001 or something. It's really, really weird.
Retro hipster.
Imagine wearing a bit of Mars on your wrist, though.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What a talking point.
And Wisconsin watch guy is saying he really wants a Hermes Slim. Those are nice, but every time I've looked at their Hermes Slim or Slim d'Hermes, however you want to call it, I always end up looking more at the whatever the equivalent Tonda is. But the new one is really cool. Although I don't know how expensive the new one will be.
Yeah, the one we just looked at was 33,000 for the lapis lazuli and blue pearl stone.
Yeah, that's
43,000 for the lunar meteorite and black Sahara meteorite, and price on application for the Martian meteorite.
Yeah, they've gotten very expensive.
I also like the Cara H edition that's out now. That's really got me thinking a lot lately.
You guys want to look at IWC when we're done with Hermes?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Hey guys, I got to cut out, but I may be able to be back in about like 15-20 minutes. Let's see.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Well, man.
Take it easy, Neo.
Guess someone should just jump in. We need more live people.
Yeah, anybody in the chat wants to join the discussion? You're all welcome, guys.
Yeah, IWC's release were a little bit bland, I found.
Yeah, basically a lot of re-releases of the Portuguese, wasn't it, basically?
Yeah, it's a trimmed down 40mm version, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Portuguese. It's a nice watch. Really
So do
nice, yeah. A lot of the white dials came back and a couple of the blue dials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just a lot of people thought the 42 was too big, so bring it down to 40 is nice. And they're in-house movements now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They are.
Yep. These new ones are.
Yeah,
Oh, what is
one of
that?
the big Portugueser was to have the for those few series that had the big old reissue of their initial pocket watch movement,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when you got to the automatics with the smaller movement, didn't really make a lot of sense to have a huge
Right.
automatic.
Any idea what these are going for?
Different prices. They released one called the Portuguese Yacht Club Moon and Tide, which was a really interesting
Yeah.
one with, well, a bit like the Yachtmaster for people with boats, of course, which was a $34,000 watch, which was very expensive. It's got moon and tide indicators to show low and high tides. One of those features that you'll rarely use unless you've got a boat. A bit like the Yachtmaster too. But an interesting
regatta
looking
time.
watch. An interesting looking dial.
Very much so.
That's an interesting bracelet.
Yeah.
Isn't that a weird, very Nautilus?
Yeah, it's going to say
Yeah.
it looks like a Nautilus.
Yeah.
That bracelet really doesn't fit on that watch.
Oh no, no, it
Yeah, it
doesn't.
looks superimposed.
Well, it's also that like the it's very weird to have the polished case and then it jumps right into like the brushed
Yeah.
link, right? It's, and Geezer's saying that the steel chrono goes around 7,000 pounds retail, so about 50,000 Canadian dollars.
The mono pusher chrono is nice too.
Yep. It's always been weird to me how many different types of pushers IWC can have for almost the same
Yes.
model. They have
For the same function, yeah.
Yeah, the rectangular pushers. They have the classic pushers.
Mono
They have some that
pushers.
look like old, chrono, handheld chrono pushers. It's like, make up your mind. I mean, does a company need all those types of pushers on the same model, though?
Yeah. We keep them prices up.
And also, how many models of the same watch do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah, that's on the moon and tide.
Yeah. I mean, it's in a way it's a little bit weird because if you look at this website, right, the Watches and Wonder, everything really is just new Portugueser variants. So I wonder if they kind of suffer from having this on a website where maybe if it would have been an article, they would have just been like 2 articles about Portuguesers, right? The chrono, the 3-hander, and maybe like the tourbillon, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now it makes it look like there's really like they're pushing 56 releases when in reality this is just a bunch of
One
variants
watch.
of
Yeah.
it's three watches, right, and a bunch of variants. So.
I kind of like just the 3-hander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't like this one at all.
the conventional Portuguese is one to go. I think this is too bamboozling. This is
Oh, how many pages do we have here? Yeah, there it is.
I mean, after that, there's not much else that's been released so far. I don't think Moser has a lot on the page. They're mostly just show the. Although you can click on Moser because at the bottom where the social media section, because it's mostly just right there. You see this up a little bit, up, just with the last two pictures, the Streamliner and the Vanta Black. If you just go up, right there.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what they have because the Streamliner came out earlier in the year, and right before this show, they released the new Vanta Blacks with the black hands. So those are cool. And I think a lot of the really cool releases that are going to come out are just saying coming soon, right? So Beauvais, Fabergé, Chaperigros, Gornenfeld, MBNF, Parmigiani, this nothing. They're all showing up as coming soon.
Yeah.
We'll see, but it's already a lot of stuff that's come out. Speak Marin.
You guys will have to excuse me for a minute here.
Yep, no worries.
Yeah, sure as well.
Speak Marin had also a new watch that came out, but yeah, lots of watches.
Yeah, with more to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Weren't you saying that you'd heard about a new offshoot of the Streamliner that had come out, NS?
Well, that's what's been hinted at, right? In the Facebook group, they all said that this was just the first one, but I think they're really concentrating on building these right now. So maybe later in the year we'll see something, but it would definitely be cool to see like a normal three-hander.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure this is a prototype for a three-hander, but
or a GMT would be cool.
He said it's going to take.
Yeah. My guess is that
it's going to take a few years for them to come out with that, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll have a perpetual calendar at some point because that's their real signature movement. But yeah, three-hander, perpetual calendar, GMT would be cool. But, yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Blue Shirt. GMT would be nice.
But they have a new tourbillon coming. They've shown it on Instagram. You know what? I should try to find it.
And you said they doubled the production run of this watch, right? From 50 up to 100?
Yeah, at first they had said 50, but now they're saying 100. So I'm assuming that that's what they did. And let me see if I can find the video of the perpetual. Or maybe it's on Melan's.
What are you doing? This is my feet. I would like to make sure my pants didn't blow away.
Yeah, I'll put in the private chat.
Cool.
And we can bring it up. But you guys can. I don't know if I can put a URL in the public chat too. It might get censored out. But yeah, they have a new tourbillon movement that's going to be coming out, and Edouard Melan posted a video of it, and it's really, really cool. So
yeah,
new movement coming out. Interesting to see what it comes out in.
It was crazy.
He told you that the dangerous side of car. You always put your car there.
Yeah.
Well, oh
You're right there flipping.
yeah. That startled the wife, and she screamed.
We heard.
Yeah, screams bloody murder. She wasn't expecting me to be out there. I'll tell her.
So I posted a video on in the private chat, flipping.
I'll be
It's
right back,
Instagram.
guys.
Yep. It's Instagram, so I'm not sure if you can bring it up or. But.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever tried this.
So what about you guys in the chat? What's your favorite release so far?
Yeah, I was just going to say something along those lines. What are all your favorite releases? What about yourself, NS?
Yeah, so far I think I like the JLCs and the Vachon. I like the Vachon, the Astronomic, and I really like the the JLC, the super expensive one is cool, but I really like the Master Control series. I think that's really cool. Yeah. So yeah, if you click on the play, yeah, it's like a tourbillon, but with like a little bit different than what they usually do.
So this is released by Moser themselves, is it? Or by Edward Malon?
Yeah, Edouard Malin is showing that video. So. Yeah, Geezer, U2, JLC, and VC. Yep. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what other stuff comes out. Very surprising and very cool that they came out with a lot of new stuff. So yeah, we're hitting the 2-hour mark, guys.
Oh, we are, yeah.
Yeah, not sure.
Covered watches.
Yeah, we've covered. Seems to cover quite a few bases, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, anything else anybody wants to add?
No, just as usual, thanks everybody for participating.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us.
Great chat. Well, sure there will be a lot more releases the next time we do this.
Right on.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, we've gone through quite a bit though, haven't we? I think the site work has to be my favorite of the lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. They're, for this type of show, it's always usually one of those, right? A-Lang-A, GLC, VC.
Yeah.
We're getting a little more biased every day.
Yeah.
We're looking to high end a bit more, aren't we? We need some lower end releases.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to take off. So take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Take care.
We'll talk later in the week.
See you. Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Definitely.
Bye, guys.
Stay safe and wash your hands.
Yep.
So Zippo, your camera's gone off.